Are we truly alone in the universe? This haunting question has lingered in the human mind for thousands of years, ever since our ancestors first gazed up at the star-filled sky and wondered about their origins. Inside a cutting-edge laboratory in Leipzig, Germany, scientists at the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology lean over glowing screens, carefully examining ancient DNA data that has just been decoded. Amid billions of genetic sequences, they make a shocking discovery: a mysterious fragment of DNA that does not match any known species on Earth. This finding challenges the very foundations of evolutionary science and raises a profound, unsettling possibility. That part of our genetic heritage may have begun beyond our planet. If this revelation sparks your curiosity, be sure to like this video, subscribe for more discoveries, and share your thoughts in the comments below. For more than a century, the traditional view of human evolution has been grounded in the theories of Charles Darwin, who first proposed natural selection as the driving force behind the development of life on Earth. According to this long-held perspective, humanity's story begins entirely on our own planet, with no influence from beyond. Fossil evidence has provided a clear, though sometimes fragmentary, timeline. Around 3.2 million years ago, in the arid landscapes of Ethiopia, paleoanthropologist Donald Johanson discovered the famous skeleton known as Lucy, classified as Australopithecus afarensis. This remarkable find, announced in 1974, offered the earliest glimpse into a creature that walked upright yet retained primitive features. Roughly 2.4 million years ago, at the Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania, pioneering researchers Lewis and Mary Leakey unearthed fossils and stone tools belonging to Homo habilis, or handyman, the first known maker of complex tools. Later, Homo erectus emerged, spreading across Africa and into Eurasia nearly 1.8 million years ago, leaving traces from Dmanisi, Georgia, to Java, Indonesia. Finally, around 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, our direct ancestors, appeared in Africa. Evidence from sites such as Jebel Irhoud in Morocco, studied by Jean-Jacques Hublin and his team, revealed some of the oldest remains of modern humans. From the haunting cave paintings of Lascaux, France, to the intricate burial rituals found in Europe and the Middle East, these discoveries seem to paint a consistent picture. Human evolution was a terrestrial journey shaped by gradual adaptation and migration. For decades, scientists believed our genetic history was written solely by life on Earth, with no hint of anything extraterrestrial. Until now. Under the icy darkness of the Siberian wilderness lies Denisova Cave, a remote site tucked deep within the Altai Mountains. For decades, it was simply another archaeological location, until a remarkable discovery changed everything. In 2008, Russian archaeologist Michael Shunkov and his team unearthed a tiny fragment of a finger bone from a layer of sediment dating back more than 50,000 years. At first glance, it seemed insignificant, but when the fragment was sent to the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig, Germany, it sparked a scientific revolution. There, under the leadership of Svante Pääbo, a pioneer in ancient DNA research, scientists carefully extracted genetic material from the fragile bone. Using advanced sequencing technology, they compared the DNA to known genomes of Neanderthals and modern humans. The results, published in Nature in 2010, stunned the world. This fragment belonged to an entirely new branch of the human family tree, now known as the Denisovans. Yet the surprises did not stop there. As researchers from Harvard Medical School, led by geneticist David Reich, joined the effort, they uncovered even more startling details. Among the billions of genetic sequences, they identified unusual DNA segments that did not match Neanderthals, modern humans, or any known species on Earth. These segments were so foreign that they defied easy classification. The implications were profound. If these mysterious genetic codes were not from any known terrestrial source, where did they come from? Some scientists cautiously suggested that these sequences might represent a lineage so ancient it had disappeared entirely, leaving no trace in the fossil record. Others, though more speculative, raised an even more provocative possibility that life, or at least part of our genetic heritage, might have originated beyond Earth, arriving here through mechanisms like panspermia, the transfer of life via comets or meteorites. This discovery didn't just rewrite human history. It posed a question that reached far beyond archaeology. It hinted that the story of who we are might be connected to the cosmos itself. The ancient bone fragment rested inside a sterile glass vial, so small and unremarkable that it could easily have been mistaken for a sliver of wood. Yet, in the world of genetics, it held the potential to rewrite the story of our species. Deep inside the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig, Germany, a special clean room was prepared for its analysis. The space was immaculate, more sterile than a surgical theater, with filtered air and sealed doors to prevent even a single molecule of modern human DNA from drifting inside. Scientists moved deliberately, dressed head to toe in white protective suits, face shields, and double layers of gloves. Under the guidance of Svante Pääbo, a pioneer of ancient DNA research, every action was methodical, precise. The first task was to extract genetic material from the ancient sample. Using a diamond-tipped drill, a researcher carefully bored into the densest part of the bone, producing a fine, pale powder. This powder was collected in sterile containers, where specialized chemical solutions were added to release DNA molecules that had been trapped within for over 50,000 years. These ancient strands of DNA were degraded, fragmented by time and the relentless forces of nature. Pääbo often compared them to torn, scattered pages of a book buried for millennia. To read them, the scientists needed revolutionary technology. This came in the form of next-generation sequencing, NGS, machines capable of reading billions of DNA fragments simultaneously. As the process began, the room filled with a low, constant hum, broken only by the rhythmic clicks of machines working tirelessly. On giant computer screens, sequences of the genetic code appeared in real time, endless strings of the letters A, T, C, and G, the fundamental alphabet of life. It was mesmerizing, like watching the universe itself being translated into language. The challenge was not only reading these fragments, but assembling them into a coherent whole. Massive supercomputers compared the ancient data to vast genomic libraries containing DNA from modern humans, Neanderthals, chimpanzees, and thousands of other species. The task was like solving an immense puzzle where most of the pieces were missing and many were damaged beyond recognition. One landmark discovery demonstrated the power of this work, the EPAS1 gene, which scientists trace back to the Denisovans. This gene allows modern Sherpa people in Tibet to thrive at high altitudes, surviving on thin mountain air by making their bodies more efficient at using oxygen. Its discovery, published in Nature, proved beyond doubt that ancient interbreeding continues to shape our biology today. But then came something far more mysterious. As researchers from Harvard Medical School, led by geneticist David Reich, examined the Denisovan sequences, they stumbled upon fragments of DNA that defied classification. These sequences were unlike anything in the known genetic record. They did not match Neanderthals, Denisovans, or modern humans. They didn't match any other cataloged species on Earth, plant, animal, or microbe. At first, Pääbo's team suspected contamination. Perhaps some stray DNA had accidentally entered the sample. The entire lab paused for a full review. They cleaned equipment, retested samples, and even repeated the entire extraction process from scratch. Still, the strange fragments appeared, consistent and undeniable. To verify the finding, independent teams at Oxford University and Cambridge University were given access to identical samples. Weeks later, their results came back. The anomaly was real. There was no contamination, no computational error. These fragments were genuine and ancient, embedded in the DNA of a being that lived tens of thousands of years ago. The discovery was shared at a closed scientific meeting before being prepared for publication in Science and PNAS, where it would undergo intense scrutiny from geneticists and archaeologists worldwide. In the dim light of the lab, scientists stared at the glowing lines of code on their monitors. A quiet tension filled the room. These fragments hinted at a story far bigger than anyone had imagined, a story that might connect humanity not just to the deep past of Earth, but to origins that stretched across the cosmos itself. The tension in the laboratory reached its peak in August 2018, when a new sample from Denisova Cave arrived at the Max Planck Institute. This time, it was a piece of long bone belonging to a young female who had died more than 90,000 years ago. Svante Pääbo's team carefully processed the sample, following the same meticulous protocols as before. When the sequencing was complete, the data revealed a stunning revelation. This individual was a direct hybrid. Her mother was a Neanderthal, and her father was a Denisovan. The results, published in Nature, shocked the scientific community. For decades, researchers had suspected that Neanderthals and Denisovans might have interbred, but this was the first direct proof, a child born from two different archaic human species. It was as if the ancient past had suddenly come alive, offering a glimpse into a vanished world of interactions between species once thought separate. Yet, as the team delved deeper into the genome, they found something even more extraordinary. Among the genetic material inherited from her parents were strange fragments of DNA that matched neither Neanderthals nor Denisovans, nor any known species on Earth. These mysterious sequences had appeared before in earlier Denisovan samples, but here they were clearer, more pronounced, impossible to ignore. At first, the researchers wondered if this might represent an ultra-ancient lineage, perhaps a population so old and isolated that no fossil record of it remained. But others began to whisper about a more audacious idea, one that bordered on the unthinkable. Could these sequences be evidence of panspermia, the hypothesis that life itself, or at least part of its genetic code, might have come to Earth from elsewhere in the cosmos, carried on comets or meteorites? In a dimly lit conference room, scientists from Harvard, Oxford, and Cambridge gathered with Pebo's team to discuss the implications. Heated debates erupted, voices rising and falling as data flashed on giant screens. No one claimed certainty, but everyone agreed on one point. The discovery challenged the very foundation of human history. As the meeting ended, there was a profound silence. They were no longer just studying ancient bones. They were staring into a mystery that connected humanity not only to its deep evolutionary past, but possibly to the vast, unfathomable reaches of the universe itself. The implications of this discovery rippled far beyond the cold stone walls of Denisova Cave. For centuries, humans have sought to understand where we came from, tracing our lineage through fossils, artifacts, and myths. Now, a few fragile strands of DNA had forced scientists to reconsider everything they thought they knew about human origins. From a purely scientific perspective, the findings open new doors in genetics and evolutionary biology. If certain fragments of our DNA were so unusual that they could not be linked to any known terrestrial species, this suggested there were still vast gaps in our understanding of life on Earth. These gaps might point to populations that once existed, but left no trace in the fossil record, or perhaps to mechanisms of evolution that had not yet been discovered. Either possibility was extraordinary. For researchers in medicine and biotechnology, the potential was equally profound. Genes that seem alien in origin could hold keys to curing genetic diseases, improving immunity, or unlocking hidden capacities within the human body. Harvard geneticist David Reich spoke of a future where these discoveries might one day help humanity confront illnesses we barely comprehend today. At the same time, the discovery resonated deeply with the age-old question of whether we are alone in the universe. If even a small part of our genetic heritage came from beyond Earth, it would mean that life is not a solitary phenomenon, but part of a cosmic network of biology, stretching across planets and perhaps even galaxies. Modern missions, such as NASA's Perseverance rover on Mars, are already searching for evidence of ancient microbial life elsewhere in the solar system. These efforts now feel more urgent and personal. The story of life on Earth might be intertwined with that of distant worlds. While no one can yet say for certain where these enigmatic DNA fragments came from, one truth has become clear. The journey to understand ourselves is also a journey to understand the universe. The answers lie not only in ancient caves or modern laboratories, but in the boundless curiosity that drives humanity to keep exploring. As the last light of day fades over the Altai Mountains, Denisova Cave lies silent, its ancient walls holding secrets that may never be fully revealed. Thousands of years ago, fires once burned here, casting flickering shadows on the faces of beings whose very existence was unknown until a few short years ago. Today, their voices are gone, but fragments of their story remain, not only in bones and artifacts, but in the DNA that flows through our veins. The work of scientists like Svante Pääbo, David Reich, and their colleagues has shown that human history is not a simple, linear tale. It is a vast web of connections, migrations, and unexpected encounters. Perhaps, as these discoveries suggest, our story does not even begin on Earth itself, but stretches back to the stars. Every cell of our bodies carries a record of this journey, an unbroken chain of life billions of years in the making. By studying these ancient codes, we come closer to understanding not only where we came from, but what it truly means to be human. If this journey has sparked your imagination, please like this video, subscribe for more incredible discoveries, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Together, we will continue exploring the mysteries that link us all.